WJXT. The 10 o'clock news starts now.
Just 2 days before the start of the Michael Dunn murder trial, a new development in the legal wrangling over public access to evidence. A decision on jailhouse phone calls may be taken away from the presiding judge, Russell Healy.
We sent a letter to the chief judge saying, here's the order. We want to bring it to your attention. We appreciate you appointing a new judge to hear this issue.
This courtroom fight has gone on for weeks over whether the state attorney will be required to release recordings of phone calls Michael Dunn has made from the Duval County Jail.
Late today, the First District Court of Appeal in Tallahassee ordered an emergency hearing at the Duval County Courthouse on this issue. The appeals court has already backed the request by Channel 4 and other news organizations to obtain the recordings, which still have not been made public. All this comes as Dunn is scheduled to go on trial Monday in the shooting death of 17-year-old Jordan Davis at a Southside gas station. Channel 4's Tim Pulliam is covering this latest development. He's joining us now live from the courthouse downtown. Tim?
And Tom, the trial is expected to start here Monday with jury selection, but according to this document here, the question of whether or not prosecutors will have to release hours of Dunn jailhouse recordings still needs to be decided. The state has 185 hours of Michael Dunn's jailhouse recordings. Media outlets, including Channel 4, have been trying to get access to them since October. Ed Burke, attorney for Channel 4, says now the matter will be settled through a special hearing. The only question is when this hearing will take place.
I don't think this is going to happen before Monday. Ideally, yes. We should have had access to these recordings weeks or months ago. But you know, legal fights take time.
At issue, the state attorney's office demand of $6,000 before it begins processing the public records request for copies of the jailhouse recordings. The office also says it would take up to 10 weeks to review the recordings and redact personal information or names before release. However, Burke argues that the attorney's office had already done a reasonable review of the recordings and should be able to release them.
It's been a fight that we've been committed to completing because we want the government agencies, the state attorney and others who have public records, we want them to know that when we make a public records request, you know, we're going to expect compliance.
But with the outcome of this hearing yet to be determined, how will this impact the start of the Dunn trial on Monday?
The court has to, you know, send out jury summonses to some, you know, usually hundreds of potential jurors. And that takes, you know, you have to advance planning and you have to get all these folks to come into the court and be there Monday morning, you know, away from their families, away from work. That costs money. And if at the last minute you continue the trial, they've taken time off and changed their plans all for nothing.
Out to the state attorney's office for comment on this story, and I got a text from their spokesperson, Jackie Bernard. She says all comments will be made in the appropriate venue in the courtroom. We are live tonight. Tim Pulliam, Channel 4, the local station.
They don't know yet who won the lottery that was held today. For those who wish to attend this high-profile trial, one man who says he wants to be in the courtroom is Dr. John Guns. He heads a mentoring group called Save Our Sons. He says this is a case where everyone can all learn how to deal with prejudice.
I think it's about respect on both ends. I think it's about us understanding that there's a certain cultural behavior that certain young people are comfortable with, and I think that a 2-minute moment shouldn't become a permanent damage to not only a young life, but to the life of also the perpetrator or the perceived perpetrator.
The courtroom will not be open to reporters or spectators when the jury selection begins Monday. Channel 4's coverage of the Michael Dunn case will continue through the weekend and next week. We'll have live reports from the courthouse on Monday morning on the morning show beginning at 4:30. You can also get the latest developments when you're away from your TV by downloading the News 4 Jax app to your smartphone or tablet. Just search WJXT in your Apple or Android app store.